This is you. You were born into an average working-class family. Your father grinds day and night as a rideshare driver, while your mother works as a receptionist at a local medical clinic. Your life was supposed to be peaceful and quiet forever. But reality is a cruel joke. Tragedy strikes without warning. Your father gets into a devastating car accident. Suddenly, your family is crushed under the weight of massive medical bills. Even with health insurance, the unforgiving system bleeds your family dry. In the end, your father does not make it, but his massive debt remains very much alive. To pay off the ruthless collectors, your mother is forced to sell your childhood home and the only car you own. Stripped of everything, the two of you are forced to move into a rotting apartment in a cheap, dangerous slum. You and your mother cram into a suffocating tiny apartment. To survive, she works 3 grueling jobs at once. By day, she scrubs hospital floors, and by night, she sweats as a prep cook. During the rare hours of dusk after you finish school, the two of you wander the dirty streets scavenging for discarded aluminum cans and plastic bottles. It brings in mere pennies, but it is your only lifeline when the money runs out. Watching her break her back every single day, a fierce determination burns inside you. You swear you will make a fortune to drag her out of this rotting slum. A kind neighboring family occasionally helps you both out, but you notice their older son is covered in deep, jagged scars. One afternoon, he takes off his shirt. Sprawled across his back is a massive, menacing skull tattoo, surrounded by cryptic letters you do not understand. Suddenly, he turns and locks his cold eyes right on you. You flinch and quickly look away, terrified to stare for even 1 second longer. The ultimate nightmare begins when you and your struggling mother catch the attention of a ruthless pack of gang members. One day, while scavenging for empty cans in an unfamiliar neighborhood far from your block, they ambush you. They creep up silently from the shadows and suddenly grab you from behind. Your mother is violently dragged into a pitch-black alley. The neighbors on the street see the whole thing, but they are terrified. They run inside and lock their heavy doors because they know this tragedy is not the first time. You know exactly what those monsters are about to do. You thrash kick and fight back with every ounce of your soul, but the fragile strength of a 13-year-old boy is nothing against a group of massive, hardened criminals. They beat you mercilessly. You hear your mother screaming for help, begging for mercy, but you are paralyzed. It is an endless loop of pure hell. Every time a man walks out of the alley with a sick, satisfied grin on his face, another one of the thugs beating you steps in to take his place. Finally, the last monster steps out of the shadows. As the pack gets ready to leave, the leader delivers one final bone-crushing kick to your ribs. He spits on you and growls that this is the brutal consequence for hanging around the MS-13 gang. He proudly flashes Barrio 18 gang signs D before walking away. You have no idea what MS-13 is, but right now your shattered mind can only focus on your mother. You drag your broken, bleeding body across the cold pavement into the alley. When you see her, the tears pour from your eyes. She is lying on the dirty ground, surrounded by crumpled dollar bills those scumbags threw at her as a sick payment for their twisted pleasure. You take off your blood-soaked shirt and gently wrap it around her shivering shoulders, holding her tight. Every single inch of your body screams in agony. But in that dark alley, a black fire of pure, uncontrollable hatred erupts inside your soul. You swear you will butcher them. You want to slaughter every single one of those bastards who dared to touch your mother. For the next few days, you stay locked inside the rotting apartment, taking care of your mother until she recovers. School is meaningless to you now. You quickly realize the golden rule of this ruthless world. It is a dog-eat-dog reality. To survive, you must become much more ruthless and evil than the monsters who destroyed your life. While your mother sleeps, you sneak out hunting for intel on the dark streets. You discover that MS-13 is the blood enemy of Barrio 18, the exact scumbags who attacked your mother. And finally, the puzzle pieces click together. That kind neighbor with the massive skull tattoo is not just a common thug. He is a veteran member of MS-13. Your target is locked. You will join his syndicate to annihilate the men who ruined your family. You start lurking around the shadows and liquor stores where his crew hangs out. You want your face burned into their minds. The neighbor knows exactly what happened in that alley. Every time he walks past, his cold eyes scan you from head to toe before he walks away with his gang. Finally, the day arrives. He calls you into a deserted alley. You know this is your one and only chance. He cuts straight to the chase and asks what your ultimate endgame is. Without hesitation, you tell him you want to run with his crew. He does not look surprised, but a heavy scowl appears. Deep in his cold eyes, you catch a brief flash of guilt. He knows his past kindness toward your mother made you a target for his rivals. He flat out rejects you, saying you still have a family to look after. You snap back with pure venom, asking what the point of having a family is if you are too weak to protect them. Your eyes burn with a black fire, and the voices in your head scream to slaughter them all. The OG stares at you in dead silence. He drops his cigarette, crushes it under his heavy boot, and turns his back. As he walks into the shadows, he casually mutters that he will keep an eye on you. You do not chase after him. You know you just won a massive gamble. You did your homework and found out he joined the gang years ago for the exact same reason, to protect his own blood. You smile in the dark. You just secured your sponsor. The long, bloody climb to the top has officially begun. You slowly prove your brutal worth. The shot caller constantly throws impossible, deadly challenges at you, secretly hoping you will crack and walk away. But you never back down. You officially become the Paro, the street-level lookout. Your first real test is crossing into enemy territory to cross out the graffiti of Barrio 18. Your heart pounds against your ribs, but your hand grips the spray can like a weapon. You know perfectly well that if the rival gang catches you, you will die in a hail of bullets. You paint with lightning speed, your eyes scanning the dark shadows. The second it is done, you vanish into the night, erasing your tracks completely. Soon, you are handling heavier missions. You hide bricks of narcotics deep inside your school backpack and shove them under your rotting bed. You notice every single package is stamped with a menacing skull and cryptic letters. Your sponsor warns you that this is the sacred MS-13 seal. If any outside dealer dares to fake this packaging, the syndicate does not just shoot them. They unleash a public bloody execution with machetes to make them pay a flesh debt to the symbol. Months bleed into years. Your mother finally discovers the harsh truth. She realizes you have been leaving with your backpack every morning just to fool her. She sees the ugly bruises and cuts you try so hard to hide. She breaks down sobbing, begging you on her knees to walk away from the gang. But you shut her out. You look at her with empty eyes, knowing that once you step into the darkness, there is no turning back. You patiently bide your time in the shadows, waiting for that one massive opportunity. You are waiting for the ultimate blood test to finally become a fully blooded-in monster. 3 brutal years pass. You are now 16 years old, no longer a helpless kid, but a hardened street soldier. You have finally proven that you are a lethal asset. The ultimate opportunity to become a fully initiated member has arrived. Your OG sponsor calls you into an unfamiliar dead-end alley. But before you get your mission, you must pay the physical toll. The crew surrounds you in the dark. Without warning, they attack. For exactly 13 seconds, you are brutally jumped in. They punch, kick, and stomp you without mercy, but you grit your teeth and take every single blow, refusing to stay down. You survive the sacred trial. Bloody and bruised, your sponsor pulls you up from the concrete. He leans in and whispers in your ear. He asks if you are ready to be a blood brother. He tells you he handpicked a very special piece of trash just for you. It is one of the Barrio 18 scumbags who assaulted your mother. Every single morning after drinking himself blind, this monster stumbles home through this exact alley. Your sponsor presses a heavy cold machete into your hands, the ultimate execution weapon of MS-13. He tells you to slaughter the guy, and you will officially earn your place in the family. You grip the steel handle tight, your eyes glaring like a starving predator. Your time for revenge is here. For the next few days, you lurk in the pitch-black corners, patiently waiting for the trap to snap shut. Finally, on a dark, moonless night, The scumbag stumbles down the path, reeking of cheap booze. You know the time is right. You glide out of the shadows and deliver a devastating slash to his chest. But one strike is not enough to quench a thirst this deep. You channel 3 years of pure boiling hatred into the blade. You hack and stab repeatedly, butchering him until his body is nothing but an unrecognizable pool of blood on the pavement. You finally stop gasping heavily for air. Suddenly, the slow sound of clapping echoes behind your back. You whip around. Standing in the shadows are several men who appeared out of nowhere. You recognize them instantly. It is your sponsor standing right next to the sector leader. The boss smirks deeply, impressed by your savagery. He steps right into your face, looks into your dead eyes, and says, "Welcome home, kid." Before you can utter a single word, the boss vanishes into the night with his muscle. You are left alone with the designated body cleaner. You stand in the silence, staring at your hands soaked in warm blood. You are no longer just a kid from the slums. You have been officially blooded in. You are a full-fledged monster. Now, an official member, a ruthless soldado, you dive headfirst into the worst of the underworld. You are no longer just a middleman moving heavy bricks of narcotics. You are the apex predator of your block. Armed with your signature machete, you actively hunt down any rival gang members foolish enough to cross into your territory. In the brutal turf wars, you always take the most savage hits, but you also rack up the highest body count. By the time you turn 20 years old, you have already survived 2 stints in a maximum security prison. But behind bars, you only prove your unbreakable loyalty. The big boss notices your cold efficiency and hands you a small sector to run as a brutal test. You crush his expectations. You rise up the ranks so fast that you completely surpass your old sponsor, cementing your spot as the Supreme Leader's right-hand man. But absolute power breeds absolute paranoia. Countless eyes constantly stare at the throne you built with your own blood. You are fighting a 2-front war, dodging bullets from rival syndicates and dodging knives in the back from your own supposed family. Your body is now a canvas of jagged scars and gang tattoos. Your mother no longer looks at you with love. Every time you visit, she trembles in pure terror. Her panicked eyes look at you exactly the way she looked at the monsters who assaulted her in that alley years ago. You cannot stand that look. To ease your heavy guilt, you move her far away from the rotting slums into a high-security, quiet suburban house. Shadowing the boss, you learn the modern art of the cartel. You master the use of military-grade encrypted phones and dark web dead drops to orchestrate multi-million-dollar drug shipments right under the noses of the feds. Sitting in this position of massive power, finishing your revenge, is child's play. You dangle a fat stack of dirty cash as bait, and the rival gang gladly hands over the rest of the scumbags, who hurt your mother, leaving them entirely at your mercy, to torture and butcher at your own leisure. The revenge is finally complete, but crossing off those names does not bring peace. It only fuels your dark ambition. To survive this endless war, being the right-hand man is not enough. You need the Supreme Boss's throne. You quietly observe the Supreme Boss from the shadows, and what you see disgusts you. He is getting weak. Instead of executing a death sentence on a careless soldado who lost a minor drug shipment, the leader secretly accepts a fat cash bribe from the soldier's family. He lets the traitor quietly vanish from the city, instead of putting him 6 feet under. The boss buys a luxury penthouse under a fake name and trades his gang colors for expensive, spotless designer suits. Worst of all, he uses the syndicate's blood money to whitewash his own life, even sending his kids to an elite private school. His ultimate betrayal comes when he secretly strikes a peace deal with a rival gang, agreeing to share the main trafficking routes just to avoid bloody shootouts that might hurt his profits. He now prioritizes a steady cash flow over the sacred honor of the turf. In the eyes of the underworld, your boss has officially committed high treason. You are standing in a pitch-black alley when a street kid runs up to you. He hands you a tiny rolled-up piece of paper hidden right between his teeth. It is a highly classified message from the supreme shot caller, the boss of bosses locked away in federal prison. You unroll it. There is only the sacred MS-13 symbol and the name of the supreme leader. The message is crystal clear. The boss has just been greenlit. It is an undeniable death sentence. But the boss has the sharp instincts of an old wolf. He smells the blood in the water and calls you into his private office for a face-to-face meeting. You know that stepping through that heavy oak door is either your golden opportunity or your ultimate grave. You walk inside and your pupils immediately shrink. Sitting on his desk is a tablet live streaming the inside of your mother's heavily guarded safe house. Standing right behind her is a masked soldado. The boss weaponizes your only weakness. He orders you to convince the supreme shot caller to cancel the hit, or your mother will catch a bullet to the back of the head. But the boss just made a fatal amateur mistake. He still thinks you are that timid boy who can be easily manipulated by fear. He forgot the most dangerous rule of the syndicate. When a member is backed into a corner regarding his honor and his blood, he acts like a kamikaze. You do not flinch or break a sweat like he expected. With ice in your veins, you pull out your phone and slide a photograph across the mahogany desk. It is a picture of his beautiful wife and daughter walking out of their prestigious private school. But right behind them, tracking their every single move, are 3 nameless paros. They are the exact street kids he always looked down on. You look him dead in the eyes and speak with a low, chilling voice. You tell him he has lived in his luxury penthouse for so long that he forgot who really feeds the starving kids on the corner. You warn him that if he uses your mother as a pawn, you will gladly slaughter his entire future as a blood sacrifice. At that exact moment, the masked soldado on the tablet turns around to face the camera. It is your old sponsor, the OG, who first brought you into the fold. He stares directly into the lens, silently confirming the supreme leader's defeat. The screen abruptly goes pitch black. The boss realizes his wife and daughter are at the mercy of the ruthless street kids. His final spark of hope is instantly extinguished. Desperate and cornered, he tries one last treacherous move. He reaches for a gold-plated pistol hidden under the desk, but you are miles ahead. Before he can even aim, you whip out a dagger and pin his hand directly to the mahogany desk with a sickening thud. He howls in agony as his blood stains the expensive wood. The heavy diamond-encrusted Rolex on his wrist suddenly feels like a shiny handcuff. Accepting his grim fate, he slowly drops to his knees. He does not beg for his life. He takes off his expensive designer shirt, revealing his heavily tattooed skin. It is a dark diary of his violent, blood-soaked past. He turns his back to you, exposing a long, jagged scar across his neck. He tells you to make it quick, and not to let him smell his own cowardice. You step forward, gripping the heavy machete with both hands. The cold steel blade reflects the ancient Mayan symbols painted on the wall. A sharp, violent swoosh tears through the dead silence of the room, permanently ending the glorious reign of the infamous Kingpin. A torrential downpour crashes onto the city. You just slaughtered your syndicate brother to protect your mother. Driven by a dark urge, you do not even bother washing the warm blood off your body. You climb into the dead Kingpin's luxury SUV and speed straight to your mother's safe house. You walk through the front door. She is sitting in the living room, unharmed and unbound, but she is trembling. Your old sponsor, the OG, who has seen your entire rise, sees you enter, immediately stands up and bows his head in submission to the new king. Your mother finally looks at you, but there is zero maternal love in her eyes. She stares at you with pure, paralyzing terror, as if looking directly at the devil. You take a gentle step forward, trying to comfort her. You tell her that everything is fine, and that you are finally here to protect her. But she screams in horror. She grabs her head and shrinks away like a cornered animal. She hysterically cries out, saying that you are not her son, begging you not to take her, and pleading with you not to touch her. She does not see your bloody sacrifice. She only sees a brand new monster born from the rotting corpse of the old one. You freeze in your tracks. You look down at your hands stained with dark, dried blood. The anxious young man who only wanted to save his mother from the slums is dead. You are now a true palabrero, a supreme regional boss. You are cold empty and radiating authority. You look at your mother one last time. She has her eyes tightly shut desperately, muttering frantic prayers to God to exorcise the evil spirit from her home. And that exact demon is the very son she brought into this world. You turn your back and step out into the freezing rain, slowly disappearing into the dim streetlights. You finally have the supreme throne. You have the fear and respect of the entire underworld. But you have permanently lost the only reason that kept you human. You are no longer your mother's son. You are a son of MS-13. Life is truly ironic. You fought a brutal war to save your family, only to become the exact monster that destroyed them. So tell me, is the supreme throne worth the price of your own soul?